Welcome everybody, and thank you for attending this seminar. I would like to thank the Co-op Research Group of the Department of Sociology and Social Research of the University of Trento, who co-promoted the event. Today's seminar is part of a series of webinars called Food Practices in Movement, organized by our research team, composed by Professor Francesca Forno, Natalia Magnani, Alice Dal Gobbo, and myself. The aim of the Food Practices in Movement webinar series is to provoke a debate among our students and colleagues, as well as sharing practitioners and researchers' insight on the prominent challenges and innovative features characterizing current food system governance. Food systems are increasingly at the core of international agenda. To name a few, the EU in May released the Farm to Fork strategy, the first policy document to comprehensively address the entire agri-food chain. The FAO Committee on Food Security released in February, not without criticism, the voluntary guidelines on sustainable food system and nutrition, and in October 2021, the UN Food System Summit will take place in New York. The Committee of Food Security High-Level Panel of Experts in his 2020 report, affirmed that food security and nutrition is best approached within a sustainable food system net framework, but also that the notion of food security and nutrition has evolved as to recognize the centrality of agency, which is the capacity to decide and the ability to engage, and sustainability. In today's webinar, we have invited colleagues from academia, civil society, and international organizations to discuss the intersection of two different food system phenomena, which acquired particular relevance in the last year: alternative food networks and food e-commerce. On the one hand, alternative food networks, such as Solidarity Purchase Group, Direct Sales, and Farmers Market, are proving able to build a living lab for more sustainable, equitable food system, and have recently helped to ensure food security in the COVID-19 pandemics. By repoliticizing food, alternative food networks empowered both producers and consumers, or eaters, in actively engaging in the food system and contributing to reshaping it. Food e-commerce, on the other, has impressively increased since the first lockdown, and it is among the factors that are contributing to the radical transformation of food chains. Digital food platforms take a variety of forms, and they are hardly a homogeneous phenomenon. As this market grows, food e-commerce is receiving increasing attention for investment and regulation. In order to prevent that food e-commerce becomes the next exclusion field for the most vulnerable actors of the agriculture and food supply chain, e-commerce needs to be assessed and addressed from an inclusive and equitable perspective. For this reason, this webinar associates these two apparently distant realities: alternative food networks and food e-commerce. The goal of this panel is to address the conditions and safeguards to foster agency and social, economic, and environmental sustainability in the food e-commerce. In this perspective, I am particularly excited by the composition of this panel, which allows us to hear different stakeholders' viewpoint and perspective on the topic. Instead of introducing the panelists, I am now giving the floor directly to Francesca Forno, Arne Dulsrud, Anna Rapazzo, Jordan Trickle, Vipul Chatterjee, and let them introduce themselves. The round of introduction will be followed by a 10-minute presentation, in order to allow space for debate and afterwards. Thank you. Francesca, the floor is yours.